much rugby league information as possible. Right now, Penrith Panthers disappointing 2007 wooden spoon in Australian Rugby League. So you don't miss any pungent rugby league information watching this video all the way through to the end, as per always. So, this one here, very, very similar to Penrith's 2001 wooden spoon, where they had outstanding players on paper, but the results on the field were just not forthcoming often enough, very often at all. Already said in 2001, Penrith should not have even been missing the finals, let alone getting the wooden spoon with the players they had. Same thing going down in 2007. At least this wasn't as embarrassing as 2001, because in 2001, I said already they conceded over 800 points in defence. Not as many this time, but still bitterly disappointing in its own right. So, which players then did Penrith had on paper that should have been getting them wins on a regular basis? At fullback, Reece Wesser Expressa could pick up tries left, right and centre. In the backs, they had Michael Jennings, Michael Gordon, Nick Youngquist, Luke Rooney in the outside backs, like established outside backs that could get tries very easily from anywhere on the field. At 5'8", they had Peter Wallace, and halfback the legendary Craig Gower. They had Gerard Savard, who could come off the bench and fill in anywhere in the backs or in the halves if there was injuries. At hooker, they had one of my favourites of all time, Champion hooker Luke Prentice in the front row, Pullatua brothers, Tony and Frank Pullatua, also Joel Clinton in the front row. In the second row, Luke Lewis, of all people, like in the second row. Frank Pritchard as well in the second row. Players of that calibre, they should have been going much, much better. They should have at least been making the top 8, but that just wasn't forthcoming. And most disappointingly, when Penrith actually won the 8 games they did win in 2007, they were brilliant. They actually played brilliantly when they did win games. And even in the 16 games they lost, they would usually have about a 25, 30, maybe 40-minute period in the game where they'd play brilliantly, but then they'd fall apart in the same game. Like they'd either wait at half-time and get run down, or they'd be behind by a long way at half-time, come back in the second half, but like leave it too little too late sort of thing. So very, very disappointing that they weren't able to concentrate long enough for long enough periods in the game and put consistent 80-minute performances together very often. An extreme waste of talent and potential by Penrith in 2007. So, the stats. In 2007, there was 25 rounds. Everyone had one bye. Played 24 games. Penrith 8 wins and 16 losses from their 24 games. In attack, they'd scored 539 points. In defence, conceded 607. So the for and against only minus 68 points. A lot of these wooden spoon teams had conceded for and against of like minus 2, 3 or 4, sometimes 5 and 600. So Penrith's for and against only minus 68 was very impressive for a wooden spoon team. And so were their point scorers. The top try scorer, Michael Jennings, with 15, and the second top try scorer, Frank Pritchard, with 14. 2 freaking try scorers. And for the point scorers, Michael Gordon, 9 tries, 57 goals, 150 points. And also Nick Youngquist, 7 tries, 15 goals, and 58 points. I should have mentioned him for the outside backs they had on paper. Youngquist, a very, very underrated player, I thought. Very solid, reliable, consistent utility back. Very underrated player indeed. So he was there too, got 58 points for them. So, the 8 games that they won, the moments in the sun, 8 games that Penrith did win in 2007, they were brilliant performances. And they actually beat a lot of the top 8 teams with their 8 wins. You know what I mean? No fewer than 6. 6 of their 8 victories were against top 8 teams, incredibly. Wow. Which also means that 16 of their losses, a lot of them were to teams that missed the top 8, obviously. They just really highlight and magnify their inconsistencies across 2007 season. So, in round 2, Penrith had beaten Bulldogs 40-10 at Penrith on the Friday night. In round 3, an all-time classic, 29-28 Golden Point thriller over the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. Peter Wallace getting Golden Point field goal on that one. In round 9, a boil over and a half over Cowboys 22-12 up at Willows, the Cowboys' old home ground. In round 12, a boil over and a half, 22-16 over Manly at Penrith Stadium. Cowboys and Manly 2 of the top 4 teams in 2007. So, yeah, Penrith actually could beat top 8 and even top 4 teams. So why were they also losing to bottom 8 teams? Who knows? In round 18, a 30-20 win over Bulldogs at Accor Stadium on Saturday night. So they beat the Bulldogs twice in 2007, another of the top 8 teams. In round 21, another top 8 team victory, beating South 32-16. Round 23, 46-12 over Newcastle, who won top 8. And in round 24, 28-22 over Roosters, who won top 8. So, yeah. So why on earth were they playing so brilliantly against the top teams, but playing so disgracefully against the lower teams? Who knows? Obviously the potential was there, but the aptitude and the concentration and the focus just wasn't there, unfortunately. Huge waste of potential. And then the embarrassing moments of the games they lost, there was many. In round 1, got a single point, 18-0 shutout by Cronulla at Shark Park. Sharks just playing like an old school, no nonsense, no frills, dour, get 3 or 5 tackles and kick and run and chase hard. Style of game, only scoring 3 tries but only needed to, 18-0. Always embarrassing when you don't get a single point. In round 7, this one particularly disgraceful, 34-18 lost to Canberra in front of the home fans at Penrith on Saturday night, and Canberra finished 3rd last in 2007. Canberra weren't much better than Penrith in 2007, so that was disgraceful. In round 15, a 54-14 poleaxing by the Warriors at Mount Smart Stadium on the Friday night. Warriors fullback Wade McKinnon scored one of the best tries we've ever seen in over 100 years of rugby league. In that one, McKinnon was deep in his own territory, took the ball from Penrith's last tackle kick, and he beat 6 or 7 Penrith players all by himself, zigzagging, pinballing across the field, to eventually score one of the best tries we've ever seen. Try by McKinnon so great, it actually made it onto a special edition rugby league DVD. There's a special edition DVD called Rugby League's Greatest Tries of the Century, like the first 100 years of Australian Rugby League, 1998 up to 2008. So this one just falling in that century. So, yeah, brilliant by McKinnon and humiliating for Penrith to be on the receiving end of one of the greatest tries we've ever seen. Then around 17, another debacle, having to play West Tigers at Accor Stadium on the Friday night. Penrith led 20 points to 6 early before surrendering and losing 43-26 against Tigers, who missed the top 8 in 2007. And I already said, rounds 21, 23 and 24, Penrith had 3 excellent wins. Or just to highlight the inconsistency in between that, round 22 and round 25 were their 2 worst losses of the season. In 2007, round 22, game that I went to on the Monday night at Penrith Stadium, somehow Penrith had led Cowboys 26-16 with just 5 minutes left in regular time. Somehow Penrith allowed Cowboys to get 2 late tries and it was 26 all at full time. And then Cowboys centre Ashley Graham scored his 3rd try of the game and the match-winning golden try in Golden Point for Cowboys to escape with the 30 points to 26 win. Penrith after leading 26-16 in the shadows of full time that had evaporated and they'd thrown it away. If they'd hung on and won that, they would have avoided the spoon and Newcastle would have got it. Also, the last round, round 25, if they'd won that game, they would have avoided the spoon and Newcastle would have got it. But obviously not to be. Going into round 25, both Penrith and Newcastle were on 18 competition points in equal last place. Penrith's for and against was only -72, whereas Newcastle's was an astronomical -260. Newcastle have been cutting hiding stuff right and centre for most of the season, including the 46-12 hiding against Penrith only 2 weeks early in round 23. But luckily for Penrith, Newcastle had to play first on the Friday night. So Newcastle saved their best game of the year for last and managed to upset West Tigers 26-24, 2007 round 25 at Accor Stadium on Friday night. And that meant that West Tigers missed the top 8 and also meant that Newcastle went up into second last place on 20 competition points. But Penrith then had to play on Saturday night, had to play Warriors at Penrith Stadium. If Penrith could just win, even if they could just win by a point, if they could just win 1-0, if they could just win by a single point, that would have allowed them to go to 20 competition points and avoid the wooden spoon on for and against. And, like I've said already, that Penrith, in all their losses, they played brilliant only for part of the game. This was no exception. This summed up their season in a nutshell. Against Warriors, to avoid the wooden spoon, Penrith led 14-0 after 30 minutes, and then they fell apart again, rolled over, and eventually Warriors beat Penrith 24-20 to embarrass them for the second time in the 2007 season. The 54-14 poleaxing by Wade McKinnon and co in round 15, and handing them the wooden spoon in round 25. So there you go. Your boy all day, 2:47 in this big JMPM, popping off as much rugby information as possible. Thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end, so you didn't miss any relevant rugby league information. And thank you so much always for brilliant, polarising, brutal support. Next Wooden Spoon 2008 going to Bulldogs. Nearly there now, getting there. Getting up for 2024. Next Wooden Spoon Bulldogs in 2008. Your boy all day, BL47. Toodaloo.